Hi, and welcome to the yet another powerful episode of the Empowering Women podcast. I'm your host, Kosha Shah, and today I have recorded an episode on self love. I feel self love is something that we hear on social media and everywhere, each day, every day, but we hardly, follow self love in our daily lives. And today, the guest, Kanchan Chaudhary, she is a self love coach. She's a founder of Happy Female Verse. And I feel that, being a self love coach, the insights that she had to share with us, they were so amazing. And we talked about so much like what is self love, why self love is important, how self love matters. If you don't love yourself, how can your relationship with others, get hampered? And so much more. We also talked about what is mirror work, the foundation of self love, and so much more. So please stay tuned, please watch the whole episode, and also please do like, share, and subscribe. Hi, Kanchan. Thank you so much for being on the Empowering Women podcast. I'm so glad that you are here today.
Thank you so much, Kosha. Thank you for actually inviting me and giving me this space to share some wonderful things that we're going to share. And I hope, no, I'm not hoping, I'm very sure it's going to be great for your listeners.
Definitely. I think that this is such an important topic, and I feel that everybody thinks that it is so cliche, like the relationship with your own self or the love, the self love with your own self. So I think that is so cliche that everybody knows about it, but I don't think that everybody is following it in their day to day lives. The term self love is
Definitely.
very common, but I don't think that people go in depth about it, and secondly, also follow it in their day to day lives. So, this is such an
Yes.
important topic and very close to my heart. And you were very gracious enough to accept the invitation. And whenever we have connected, I've always felt so good, connecting with you, the energy. So, I'm sure it's going to help the listeners, like, in many ways. Um, let's start with your journey. Like, what inspired you to become a self-love coach for women?
Okay, so as with every other story that we hear about anyone overcoming their challenges and finding their way out to their heart, their soul, and everything. Mine also started with a lot of challenges, and at the time when we are facing those challenges, we feel what is happening and why am I in this situation. But in the hindsight, when we go about it, we feel, oh wow, this is the lesson that I got to learn from it. And that is why uh, even that chapter becomes beautiful, even that
Right.
painful chapter becomes beautiful.
Right.
So in my case also, this was the thing that I also was this person who was always seeking validation from outside, and kind of like कि यार अगर मेरे पेरेंट्स ने या मेरे पार्टनर ने या जिसने भी मुझे अच्छा बोला तो ही मैं अच्छा फील करूंगी, otherwise I'm not going to feel good enough. And
Hmm.
in order to seek that validation, I was doing so many things that were probably against me, also against my soul calling, and just doing stuff like for people pleasing and stuff. And
Hmm.
in that, in that journey, there came a point where I stood at at a juncture that who am I,
Hmm.
and what do I want in my life. Like, if my parents are saying that you should be an IAS officer, is that really that I want it, or it's just that I'm doing it because I'll get the societal validation or the parental validation and everything. So this was the time. And also because uh, I'm sure, Kosha, you must have either felt in your life or heard from the women that you talk to that एक point आता है जब ऐसा लगता है हर तरफ से problems आ रही है ना? Like even career is not going good, even the family situations are not good, and then you're like, I don't know what to do now.
Right.
So I was at that point, and then in 2018, I'll be specific enough. Okay, so I got to that situation that now I have to change the direction of things. Otherwise, uh, I might not be able to live even.
Right.
So in that journey, that started to, me looking for ways in which I can be happier, in ways I can lead a positive life and everything. There I found this specific term as self-love. And I think from then on, there's been no looking back. Obviously, it's a journey. It's like up, down. Sometimes uh, yes, you get into the zone of, I am going to love myself no matter what. But there are times when you're triggered to such a point that, uh, nahi ho pa raha. I
Right.
can't love myself. If the other person is not loving me, how can I love myself?
Yeah,
Even that thought comes to so many women,
again
right?
that pattern kicks in of the previous patterns of our mind
Yeah.
just kicks in. Yeah, so that is why I said
Yes,
no,
yes.
healing is a lifelong process. You learn each day, every day, and you also, but now I feel that once you are aware about it and the old pattern kicks in, it becomes easier to come out of it. पहले अगर
Yeah.
4 दिन 5 दिन लगते थे तो अभी हम शायद 2 दिन या 1 दिन या आधे दिन में भी बाहर आ जाते उससे. We know how to deal
Hmm.
with it better. They are obviously
Yes.
gonna come, but now we know how to deal with them basically.
Yes. That is one beautiful thing that has happened. I've also noticed in my life. पहले बहुत time लगता था, and now it's like एक दिन में good job.
Right, right. I'm so glad. Then I mean that 2018 would be the lucky year for you when you found out about self-love.
Yes, of course. Even though it was the year full of challenges and everything, but because I got that, way out of it, I always remember it. Maybe the next years, jahan pe, there has been some growth and everything. Maybe I don't remember those, but that
Right.
is one milestone that I remember.
Definitely. So, uh, we hear the term self-love like each day, every day, as I mentioned. So, how do you define self-love in the simplest way?
The kind of relationship that we are having with ourselves and the ability to stand for ourselves no matter what.
Right, right,
So it's like, people will come and go, situations will change. But if we are steady as a rock for ourselves, then I think nothing can, beat us. We literally
right,
become unstoppable after
right.
that.
But many people over here confuse self-love with selfishness. What's the
That is, yes, that is one thing. And, this thing I feel, I don't feel, I believe this. Okay. um, this is because of the conditioning and the upbringing, especially us Indian girls have had,
true? I agree.
right? Like, बचपन से हमें सिखाया जाता है, be that good girl. आपको बड़े होके ये बनना है, अच्छी लड़की बन के रहना, ज्यादा कुछ बोलो मत, don't talk rudely to elders, don't even state your opinions, just do what other people want you to do, just make them happy. And especially for the girls who are being trained, I will say all girls in India are trained to become bahus.
Right,
Okay, they are not trained to become a happy person. I will
right,
not even say successful, because success also has different meanings for different people. So for someone,
mm,
success is having a happy family. For someone, it's a great career. But the major thing I feel every person should be that they should be happy in their life. So we are not taught to be happy. We are only taught to give.
right,
And then when we try to take something for ourselves, कि नहीं, उनको टाइम देने के साथ साथ अगर हम अपने लिए टाइम निकाल रहे हैं, तो then it comes out to be selfish. And the worst part here is that, other people say that it's selfish, एक तरह से वो चल भी जाए. But when the woman, standing in front of that mirror is saying to herself, it will be selfish. अगर मैंने वो चीज आज शॉपिंग कर ली, तो वो अच्छा नहीं रहेगा. अगर आज मैंने अपने पसंद का खाना बना लिया, तो दूसरे का कैसे बनेगा? अरे भाई, मतलब अगर आपको वो पसंद है, आप दूसरे के साथ नहीं बना सकते हो. एंड
mm,
in this zone, one of the misconceptions I feel is this, that You either choose them or you choose yourself. That is why
Mm,
it feels selfish. What I say is, why don't you include everyone? If you have the capacity to love your child, to love your spouse, to love your parents, to love your siblings, to love your friends, to love your career, why can't you love yourself also? It's just that you have to include yourself in that equation. That's it.
mm.
And then it will
Right.
not be selfish.
Right. Very well you mentioned, like very easiest way gave the answer to this question. Like we are just been trained to be the bahus, or we are just trained to just give, 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 give. So when we are only trained to give, and when we just take little part for ourselves, we let it be for others, we ourselves feel that, we are being selfish. मतलब
Yeah.
हमारी ट्रेनिंग वैसी की जाती है कि हमें सिर्फ देना है, हमें कुछ लेना नहीं है। तो जब हम लेने की कोशिश करते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि हम कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं, वी आर डूइंग
हाँ.
समथिंग रॉन्ग। वी automatically start feeling awkward, and we feel like something is not correct, and then we don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
So
And this has, like this has happened with me also. I don't say that uh, मेरे को बचपन से सेल्फ लव पता था या मेरे को बचपन से ये सब नहीं. I have also been in that zone that
mm,
I felt guilty taking out time for myself. I felt guilty for choosing myself on some days when I am being asked to choose between them or me, and them being anything and anybody. Okay.
right.
But slowly I came to that point that if I cannot be happy with myself, I
Hmm.
cannot keep anybody else happy.
Right. True, very true. So, how can you be happy with your own self? How can a woman who doesn't know self love, like many years of her life, okay, the early years, I would say, even like till abhi to like we live only till 60, 70 years. So, I think
Hmm.
aadhi zindagi tak they don't realize what is self love.
Hmm.
If I could say like 25, 30 years tak, if I may
Yes.
say.
Yeah.
So, very early years of their life they have just lived like that, and now we are discovering, because there's a lot of discussion about it, so we are discovering what self love is. So how can a woman now start to love herself, wherein she's feeling very awkward, she's feeling very like not that great about it?
Yeah. So everything I believe starts with awareness.
Hmm.
Till the time we're not aware of anything that is, I won't say bad because that is not a word I want to use for anything, because even the so-called negative experiences are lessons. Okay.
Right.
So anything which is creating some problem in your life, and if you become aware of that, that is how you start to change it. Till the time you don't know there is a problem, you can't change it, right?
Right.
So the first thing that I say in this case is that if you can understand what kind of an inner chatter you're having for yourself. Okay. It's like the way you talk to yourself. If for example I have done some kind of a mistake, okay, and the first reaction is, shit, how stupid are you? Okay. Now this dialogue that I said to myself is my own inner chatter which is saying that I'm not good enough.
Hmm.
नाउ बाहर वाली दुनिया तो आपको बाद में कुछ बोलेगी, पहले तो आपने अपने आप को ही गलत बोल दिया,
Right.
right? So and this aspect is also coming actually from our inner child woundings, because as a child we have been scolded, reprimanded, and given those
Discouraged a lot.
punishments, yeah, for so many things. So this is the kind of thing we stay to ourselves only. So when we are able to catch that dialogue that we are having with ourselves and understand that, okay, this is not something good, and how do we measure it? It's like, if what you are saying to yourself, will you be saying that to your child in a
Hmm.
good manner? Will you be saying that to your best friend? If not, then that is not right for you as well.
Right.
This is the simplest measurement that I go ahead with.
Right.
So awareness is one thing, awareness of the kind of talks we are having, and then obviously when you become aware of the talks, then you also kind of start to become aware of the thoughts that you're having for yourself, the beliefs that you have about yourself. And slowly when we get to the awareness point, then we identify that okay, this is something which is not good, this is something which I should not be saying to myself, and then we kind of rectify it, and that is how we go about it. So the first step is awareness.
Kanchan, like there are so many women who at this stage also don't know like about themselves. They might know what their spouse is liking, what their in-laws like, what their children like, their preferences, but they don't know what they like. How can they get to know about themselves?
Okay, that's a very good question, thank you for asking. So the first thing that we already discussed in the previous question about awareness, having an awareness. Now, because we also have to understand that, self love is not just one destination, that one day we will get there and we will be all fine. No, it's a journey. Okay. And this journey has to be taken, if possible, every day. Okay. So uh, every day when we become aware, every day when we specifically take out time for ourselves, that is when we start to build that trust within ourselves, and that is when we find what actually uh, makes us happy and everything. I'll share something great with you. Any so many of the things I had learned from my mentors, from courses, from books, but one thing intuitively, some years back I started doing, and I started doing it in the new year time. Okay. I decided that every day for at least 21 days I will write one whole page, just um, saying what makes me happy. That's it. So this was my specific journal that I felt like the point is nobody told me to do it. Nobody, and it didn't come as an idea from outside. So
Hmm.
that's why I kind of attributed to my own soul's journey, because I was the one who decided that every day I will write one page specifying what makes me happy. And till today, I have that journal with me, and whenever I feel like I'm not feeling happy, I go through those pages and see, okay, this is something which I know definitely makes me happy. And if I do it today, then I'll be better. Now,
Right.
those had things like, spending time in nature, talking to your best friend you haven't talked to for a long time, just having it's like a simple cup of tea or coffee, watching your favorite,
Sure.
bloggers or whatever. So I know these are my things that can make me happy, and I can come back to those. So we have to make an intentional effort to find what makes us happy, what we love, and everything.
Right.
Because see, women, as we discussed, हमको सबका ख्याल रखना है. We have to know the favorite dish of our husband, the favorite color our child likes. But when we are not asking those same questions to ourselves, how will we know?
Right.
It's like you have to kind of look at yourself also as that person who has a life, who has the opportunity to live a life they can actually love and be happy in. So
Right.
we have to make those decisions, and for that I simply say that just every day take out at least 10 minutes to sit with yourself. And in that time, if you want, you can do meditation. If you want, you can do some journaling, specific questions. As I said, what makes me happy? And what do I need? Especially if we do it in the morning, and ask ourselves, what do I need today? Is it
Hmm.
rest? Is it some movement? Is it going out? And when we have that intention in our mind that this is what I want to do, and this is not what I want to do for someone else, this is what I want to do just for me, then we meet ourselves, find what makes us happy, and धीरे धीरे करके that trust starts to build in ourselves.
Right. how lovely you explained it, and I really like this idea of, right, for 21 days writing what do I really like, what does make me happy. Because I feel once I
Yeah,
start writing, then we can start getting clarity about it, and maybe we can, if we do it every day, maybe it's the same thing at the start, but then you can keep on adding certain things which will come
yes,
to you
yes,
automatically.
yes, yes,
And it
yes,
would be just yours, like specifically yours, not because someone else is doing it or someone else is liking it.
yes. And that's the beauty of it. Like, I that was this was like a pink journal, and I really like it because I know I did it for myself.
Right, right. And I feel it's so important.
It
No?
is, till the time we don't get to that relationship, we feel क्या ही important होगा उसमें. We
Yeah,
don't even think about it actually because it's not
actually.
talked about. Growing up, it's not talked about. You have to become a good daughter, you have to become a good student, you have to become a good bahu, you have to become a good wife, mother, and everything. But what are you? Who are you? And
Hmm.
are you good to yourself? Those things are never asked or taught.
Right.
So, and when that strikes, oh wow, I can have a relationship with myself. And even bigger realization that I always come back to with my clients is that the kind of relationship you have with yourself will actually be the basis of the kind of relationship you are going to have with anybody and everything, even for that matter with your career, with money and everything.
Very
So it's
important thing
not
you
just people.
mentioned. The kind of relationship you have with yourself is the kind of relationship that you're going to have with everybody else, right? So, can you
Yes,
elaborate
yes,
this? Because, like, we have no relationship with our own self, and we have a relationship with everybody, and everybody else feels that it's so good, like your relationship with your spouse, children, with in-laws or friends or career wise, like you have such good relationships, but deep down you always
yeah,
feel hollow and empty because you don't have a
yeah,
relationship with your own self. Because
yes, yes,
your happiness, sadness, everything is dependent on other person's reaction, whoever it may be. If
yes,
they talk nicely to you, you will feel happy. If they like the food you cook, you will be happy. If you are giving them enough time and they are satisfied, you will be happy. But
yeah,
the moment you go somewhere here and there wrong, or I should say not wrong, but then you're not available maybe at times, and then
yeah,
you suddenly start feeling guilty, or they make you feel guilty.
yeah.
So, very well, you mentioned that the relationship with your own self defines the relationship with others. So, can you please elaborate on this?
Sure, sure. Thank you so much for actually you all only elaborated it so nicely till now. I'll just put on some pointers
Yeah.
which I think as an example I like to give. It's like I feel love in general, love, okay, is like a reservoir in our in women's lives. एक
Hmm.
बहुत बड़ी टंकी है प्यार की हमारे अंदर, एंड आई फील एवरी वुमन हैज इट, ओके. Probably शायद जिनके अंदर नहीं है, they are hurt somewhere, okay.
Hmm.
So for me love is that reservoir, okay. Now the output we have put for everybody, okay. हमारे प्यार का जो बहाव है वो हमने सबको दे रखा है, रिलेशनशिप्स को दे रखा है, ओके, करियर को भी दे रखा है, द वुमेन हु आर सो ग्रेटली करियर ओरिएंटेड, ओके. एंड देन फॉर सम इट इज स्पिरिचुअलिटी आल्सो, राइट. भगवान से उतना अच्छा कनेक्शन है. Then for some it is like some social cause or something, right? And so this reservoir we are giving to everybody, okay. And but we are not giving to ourselves. And अगर हमने सारा का सारा खाली कर दिया, तो what have we left for them also, right? So that becomes the basis of love in my eyes. Now coming to the relationship that we have, now if I have an output kind of a relationship, and like giving only, as we said earlier, that I have to give love to my family, I have to give love to my career and everything. वो सारा एक रिलेशनशिप, एक बॉन्ड चलते जा रहा है with the other entities, other people and situations in our life. But where are we filling ourselves? There is no uh, you know no output or input to into ourselves.
Mm.
Okay, so but if we start to give that to ourselves, then that relationship, that reservoir also starts to give to us.
Mm.
Probably आपने वो ये कहानी, तो कहानी नहीं है actually, it's like a kind of like a analogy, which is okay, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So that empty cup becomes, because we are not giving to ourselves,
Yeah,
because
it's
we are
not
not
getting
having that
filled, right?
relationship with ourselves. Okay, and if we build that relationship with ourselves, then we are actually in a very powerful state of being, that we are also giving to others, and we're not giving out of fear, we are not giving out of seeking validation or anything. We are
Right,
actually giving from fullness.
right, right, right,
So
right.
for those reasons, I feel that relationship with ourselves is very important, because again, it will become the basis for everything.
Right. What would you tell to women who have started their self healing journey, but in between there are these bumps when they feel like lost and they feel why when I'm doing it? Okay. So, what would you tell to them?
Okay, so the first thing is, I don't like to call that, women are lost. Like वो feel होता है, I agree, but it is not lost. If something is lost, then you literally have to start a search from scratch. Okay, but it's just that we have, you know started to becoming disconnected with ourselves. That's it.
How does a lack of self love affect relationships, marriage, parenting, or your career?
Yeah. So, when we are not in a loving zone for ourselves, what we do is, we kind of, unnecessary burden we put on other stuff. सबसे ज़्यादा I feel this is done with our spouse.
Hmm.
Okay. um, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, चाहे जिस भी वजह से नहीं लग रहा, now it is your responsibility to make me feel better. Now this is a very I would say, like, yes, obviously, you are partners, तो वो है, but it is not their responsibility. I remember Katrina Kaif has said in an interview that the responsibility to make yourself happy in your life should remain with yourself only. This is not
Hmm.
something you can delegate to someone else, even
True.
your partner.
Hmm.
Okay, so when you are not अपने अंदर में खुश नहीं हो, आप दुनिया से एक्स्ट्रा फालतू की डिमांड्स करोगे, ठीक है, and then the kind of behavior also you will be having towards them, it is going to be fear based. It is going to be like, मुझे उनको खुश करना है, इसलिए मैं वो चीज करूंगी, not because
True.
that makes me happy.
Right.
ओके, एंड इवन इन करियर, अगर हमें ये देखना है कि हमारा बॉस हमसे कुछ अच्छी बात नहीं कर रहा है, कर रही है, इवन इफ इट्स फॉर फीमेल्स, ओके, एंड वी आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट इन आवरसेल्व्स, हम उनकी बकवास सुनते रहेंगे, एंड वी विल बी एट द रिसीविंग एंड ऑफ office politics, gossiping and everything. So
Right.
we not having a good self-worth, good amount of self-worth for ourselves, will actually be spilling over in so many areas of our life,
True.
because we are not, setting our boundaries. We are not saying no to people when we actually want to say no. अगर सब लोगों ने बोल दिया चलो चलते हैं ड्रिंक करते हैं, अरे मुझे नहीं करना, बट जस्ट बिकॉज उनके सामने मेरा वो हो जाएगा, एंड देन आई गो विद देम, एंड देन आई फील बैड कि मैं उनके साथ क्यों आई, then that means you're not in a happy relationship with yourself.
Right.
So having that foundation is very important. So self love is like a foundation, and every other thing is built upon that.
Hmm. Wow. Like self love is a foundation, and this is so important. But the thing is, You mentioned boundaries.
Hmm.
How can a woman start to set a boundary?
This is the toughest thing to do for a woman because we have been told सामने वाले को ना तो बोलना ही नहीं है. नो इज अ स्टेटमेंट इन इटसेल्फ. वो दुनिया को इसलिए नहीं पता क्योंकि हमें भी अपने लिए नहीं पता.
Hmm.
When we say no to somebody, when we don't have boundaries, we start to instantly, over explain. I can't do this, but the reason is this, blah blah blah. अरे नहीं, आपने no बोल दिया, that's enough. You don't have to explain why the hell I cannot do that thing.
But
Yeah,
with that no comes a lot of discomfort from others
definitely.
that you have to go through, which women
Yes,
are not ready for.
but see, if you have to change your life, you have to change some things about yourself.
Right. So, what are the biggest myths about self love that you would like to burst?
So
Hmm.
one of the myths is that having self love is being selfish.
Hmm.
आप अपने आप से प्यार करोगे तो आप किसी और से नहीं कर सकते.
Right.
Hello, that's not possible. You just have to include yourself in that loving environment
Right.
that you have created for the entire world around you. You don't have to do के अगर मैं इससे प्यार करूंगी तो मैं अपने आप से नहीं कर सकती.
Right. Right.
And women have this बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा reservoir of love. uh, जब हम अपने बच्चे से प्यार करते हैं, do we stop being in love with our husband? Do we stop being in love with our friends?
No.
Do we stop being in love with our parents? We love everybody.
Right.
So if we one woman can love so many other people, why can't she love herself? So this selfishness is because people think it's them or us. No, it's everybody together.
Is there someone you consider your biggest role model in your self love or your personal growth journey?
Yes, there is, and her name is Louise Hay, and I believe she's like the pioneer of self love in the self development world, self improvement world. um, as I mentioned earlier, that my journey of becoming a better version or whatever started in 2018. Now that was a time when I got to know of some concepts of how to make yourself better and be more productive or having a positive outlook in life. And that was basically, I had encountered The Secret, the movie and the book. Okay, so law of attraction came into my life, and it was all good. It's fine. But what everything on that zone was telling that you have a problem and this is a solution.
Hmm.
Okay, now what Louis Hay says is there's no problem. There's a problem externally, huh? But you have to not solve it by hating that. Problem होती है तो सबसे पहला रिएक्शन क्या होता है हमारा? I hate that problem and now I have to get out of it. Okay, so this is like a kind of, I can say, a negative reaction through
Hmm.
which we are trying to build our life. Okay, what Louis says is you have to love yourself as you are. There is no problem. And that kind of changed the way I look at things. Because उससे पहले क्या होता था कि okay, I have this issue, मुझे उसे solve करना है, तो वो नेगेटिव एलिमेंट आ गया. दिस इज समथिंग विच अनदर मेंटर ऑफ माय सेज इज कि आप किसी चीज को नेगेटिव के बेस के साथ लेके चलोगे तो थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा बिकॉज दैट ऑलरेडी हैज अ नेगेटिव इमोशन इन्वॉल्व विद इट. बट
Hmm.
अगर आप ये मान के चलोगे एवरीथिंग इज गुड, यू आर फाइन, जो भी है इट इज देयर बिकॉज ऑफ सम थिंग्स इन योर लाइफ,
Hmm.
because of some decisions that you made, because of some situations you were in, and now you just have to accept that and then move forward and start it from a loving zone. And when we start kind of solving that from a loving zone, then I feel it becomes easier.
Right.
So Louis Hay is that one person whose teachings radically shifted the direction in which I was going in my self improvement journey.
Self love in one sentence.
Your relationship with yourself.
One habit everyone should stop immediately.
Talking shit to themselves.
One habit everyone should start today.
Mirror work.
One book on self love you would recommend.
The Self Love Journal by Louise Hay, I would recommend, because that gives you the way, like, she gives the platter, you do it, and then you pour your heart into it. So it's not just a book, it's a journal basically, but by Louise Hay. So that
One affirmation you actually believe in.
I am worthy of everything I desire.
Complete this sentence. The moment my life changed was when I realized dash.
That I am amazing just as I am.
Your biggest lesson about self love.
It's a journey. You have to keep going.
One message for every woman listening today.
Start loving yourself just the way you are.
Can someone love others deeply if they don't love themselves?
Um, it's a very weird answer, I feel I have for this one. Okay. So, capacity wise, yes, one can love because we have a lot of capacity to love. Okay. But we cannot be in love with our whole essence without self love.
Hmm.
We will do it out of some fear, out of some, uh, guilt that we have to do it, out
Right.
of some obligation. And if those kind of things are already there in that relationship, in whatever you are trying to give love to someone else, um, obligation, guilt, people pleasing attitude, uh, that is not going to have a good basis. What I have felt. So capability wise, yes, you can, but it will not have the same impact as you will have when you are coming from a place of loving yourself and then uh, sharing it with the world.
Right. You mentioned mirror work, okay? You also mentioned how to do it, like just by standing in front of mirror, just telling yourself
Hmm.
that I love myself and
Hmm.
I completely accept myself as I am. Can you
Hmm.
share something more about mirror work?
Yeah. So mirror work again. This is also one of the Louise Hay concepts. Okay, and she has a little book about it, which is actually a 28 days journey in which she gives different kind of prompts to journal upon. Some meditations are there, and it's a very comprehensive journey that one goes through, and different kind of affirmations are also included in that. So what happens in that journey is that you start with that discomfort of saying it to yourself that I love myself, because honestly सबसे पहले आप बोलोगे, आप बिलीव ही नहीं करोगे, आपको लगेगा ये जो भी है ये झूठ है, मैं अपने आप से बिल्कुल प्यार नहीं कर सकती बिकॉज मेरे में ये कमी है, वो है, ये है, वो है. ओके. एंड but because I've gone through that journey, I can say, I can vouch for it, that by the end of it, you become so powerful, so invincible कि आपको फर्क पड़ना ही बंद हो जाता है.
Thank you so much, Kanchan, for sharing such beautiful and wonderful insights. I'm sure it's gonna help so many women out there, and I'm really, really grateful.
Thank you so much for having me today and talking about this thing. This, topic is something which I have said a lot already, but I probably can say a lot also because it is so close to my heart, and not because I've studied it or anything, because I've gone through it. And that lived experience is probably something that makes us stand in a position to kind of not I wouldn't say advice, because we can't advise anybody.
Right.
We are just sharing our experiences with whatever has happened, and from that, if someone can take some insights that, oh, this was her journey, this is something that she found through it, this is how it has changed her life, probably this can change for me as well. And then they can start to do it. And if even one woman is, in that area, that okay, today I need to change that conversation with myself, I need to be a better person for myself, then I think both of our jobs is done today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree. Thank you so much.
Thank you.